Stamps.com in Sheridan, Wyoming. Beautiful, snowy Sheridan, Wyoming. So I'm live on YouTube. So that means it's Thursday night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Now, I don't have any idea what it is anywhere else in the world. Those are the only things I know for sure. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day and hang out with me. I do have some cute things to share with you tonight. So, yes, that's exciting. I was just looking around up here where I normally stack stuff to see if there was anything that's interesting and noteworthy to share. So we'll see if I have anything up here. I got some fun Halloween cards, you guys, from a few of you fantastic ladies. So I will share those. And I think that's about it that I got in the mail. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything in the mail. I'm sitting here trying to think, have I gotten anything in the mail? No, I don't think that I have. So, which is totally fine. Because sometimes, you don't want to get mail because bills also come in the mail and nobody wants that action. I mean, yeah. Oh, Terry's so sweet. Terry said, thumbs up and shirt. Terry, are you feeling any better? I hope the answer is yes. Sending good thoughts your way. And the rest of you, I hope you're all feeling fantastic. We didn't get a lot of snow. We got a couple of inches, so which is totally fun. Except next week, no snow next week because I have to drive up to Billings Wednesday afternoon, a week from yesterday, so I can catch a plane Thursday morning to go hang out with my besties. Yay! So yes, I will be flying into the Quad Cities where Dina will pick me up and I will go to her house and then Kelly will drive there from where she lives because I think it's only about 4 hours for Kelly, 4.5. I mean, which of course is a ways, but I mean, I could never drive there. I mean, I could, but by myself, that'd be a little rough. It'd be about 15 hours. That's a long time to drive by yourself. So anyways, I will be hanging out with them and then we are going to a Stampin' Up event in Indianapolis, Indiana. So we will be driving from Dina's house to Indianapolis, hanging out there for, I think we're going to leave Friday morning. We have a thing with Stampin' Up Friday night, Silver Elite and above. There's a special get together for those titles. And so we will go to that. And then Saturday all day long is an event called On Stage. If you're a demonstrator, you probably know about it. So we will do that. And then we will go back to Dina's house on Sunday. And then I will stay at Dina's house Monday, Tuesday. And then I think Kelly's going to take me to the airport bright and early Wednesday morning. And I will fly home. I will fly to Billings, I guess, to Denver, to Billings. And I'll get to Billings like 2:00 in the afternoon. So that should give me just the perfect amount of time to get out of Dodge before it gets dark, because I do not see very well in the dark when I'm driving. And so I do not like to be on the interstate in the darkness because it scares me. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys that are on here. I'm assuming are going to Indianapolis. So I look forward to meeting you guys. A lot of you I've never met before. I've only seen you here on the YouTube. And so I am very excited to meet you girls. If you guys see me, please come up and say hello because I don't know what you guys look like. You guys know what I look like because you see me every week. And I would just love to give you a big hug and to meet you. So if you see me there, please come up and say hello. I would love nothing more than to say hello to you. So I will have some swaps. I don't know how many. We're going to see what I can come up with. And maybe maybe I can swap with you. We'll see. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't seen Dina and Kelly since, I guess it's not been that long as June. So it's not like it's been ages or something like that. But, it's always a good time to see your besties. So I'm looking forward to that. And you know what I'm really, really looking forward to? This is like the highlight of any time I get to travel anywhere. I don't have to fix dinner. I'm not lying about that either. That is seriously like the high point of me leaving this house by myself. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if I go by myself or not. If I leave this house for an extended period of time, I'm not cooking dinner. And that brings a huge smile to my face because then I don't have to clean up either. In fact, The last few nights at dinner, my husband and my son have been there, and I've said, okay, you guys, raise a hand if anyone is willing to clean up the kitchen. And they do this. And then my husband will say, Justice. And my son will say, Mike. And then they do this again. And then my husband will say, well, even if we did it, it wouldn't be good enough for you and you would redo it. That's a fair statement. That is a fair statement. I am a little particular about how things are done. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to not doing any of that for like 6 nights, 7 nights. Yes! So that's really exciting. Okay, any updates about my children? My son, no, which is good. That means he hasn't done anything to himself. Oh, I guess there is kind of an update, you guys. He has been eating food with his teeth. He's been biting into food. Now, not like corn on the cob or an apple or anything, mind you, but like a sandwich, a piece of pizza, a bagel, that kind of stuff. So that's exciting. He's using his teeth. Yay. So it's only been, I don't know, when did he do it? The end of June? So July, August, September, October. 4 months he hasn't used his teeth for anything. So this is a very big deal around here. So I'm very excited for him that he's finally getting things fixed up in there. So that's good. My daughter will be coming home. Let's see. I get home on the 16th. So week after next, I'll get home on the 16th. She's going to come for Thanksgiving on the 17th. So I'm very excited to see her because guess what? She likes to cook. Yay. So she'll do some cooking. And it's really weird. It's like, I don't mind cleaning up if somebody else cooks. But if I have to cook and clean up, I'm not about that. I hate that. I hate everything about it. Cooking dinner every night is literally the bane of my existence. If we could have salad or cereal every day, I would be super excited. Oh, now Jean is saying that she misses cooking. And I suppose, Jean, after my son leaves and it's just me and my husband and, we're eating a lot of leftovers and sandwiches and stuff like that, I might look forward to cooking again. But right now, no. It literally is the bane of my existence. Every day I wake up and I think, ugh, what are we going to have for dinner? Seriously. And then I have to think, and then I don't want to do it. So then I kind of forget about it. And then it's noon and my husband comes home for lunch and then I go, oh my gosh, what am I going to make for dinner? Ugh. So tonight we're having like build your own pizza kind of thing. So, because I had found some little 8-inch, I think they're called Boboli pizza crusts at the store last week. And I bought a couple packages and they were so good. I was really surprised. I got some pizza sauce and then, like just some toppings. I think I got pepperoni, some Canadian bacon. We always have olives. We always have cheese. But we pretty much always have pepperoni too, because I put pepperoni in my lasagna and I make lasagna frequently enough. Anyway, all this is boring. People don't care about any of that. But I understand that a lot of you, oh gosh, Cheryl says, Cheryl plans her meals a week in advance. Oh, if only I could stand to do that, Cheryl. I would love to do that. I just can't. I just despise it so much. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So anyway, and I think that's it. There's nothing else really going on around here, which is good. Oh, we're on season 2 of Gunsmoke. We've watched the entire first season. So we're on season 2 now. I think we're probably a third of the way in. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of Gunsmoke watching while I'm gone. So that's super exciting. And then I have to think to myself, what am I going to watch? What's he going to watch after Gunsmoke is done? After we've watched, 635 episodes of Gunsmoke, what are we going to watch then? I have no idea. I mean, I will think of something, but anyway. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera because the blah blah is done. There's no more blah blah to do. We don't really do anything for Halloween around here. We don't have trick-or-treaters. I'm not going to dress up to look at my husband while we're watching TV. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera and we will get to the stamping portion of the show. I hope you guys are enjoying my free weekly shows. I certainly enjoy bringing them to you. Yeah, so, Victoria says to watch Yellowstone. Okay, we'll check that out. I know he's watched that, what is it, 1888 or something like that? Like the prequel to that show. He has watched that. So I'll see if he's going to be interested in Yellowstone. We'll see. Okay, so here are a few of the Halloween cards that I got from you wonderful, wonderful ladies. I guess this isn't a Halloween card. This is a thank you card. So there you go. But I did get 2 Halloween cards. I got one from Debbie Lindauer. Thank you so much, Debbie. And then I got one from Terry Molyneux. Thank you, Terry. And then I got this beautiful pumpkin card from Cindy. So Cindy, Terry, and Debbie, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. I love getting stuff in the mail. It's just awesome. I mean, I think we all do. So yeah, I'm very excited to get these things in the mail. So thank you very much. Okay. So I still have a few of my past class kits left. So I am still having my past class kit sale. They are 25% off if you buy 2 or more, and then it's a flat $5 shipping. The link to see what I have available is in the description of this video. It literally says like 25% off class kits or something. And it's a page on my blog that will show you the kits that I have available. Most of the kits, well, they all come with pre-cut cardstock pieces. The class, they either make 6 or 8 cards, depending on what kind of class it is. Some have envelopes, some don't. Some have designer series paper, some don't. Most of them have like ribbons and embellishments, but not all. So they're just kind of it's a wide variety of different things. So if you're interested, check those out. I still have some of those available at 25% off. Then, as you probably know, customers can now purchase the Fitting Florets collection of goodies. And we are going to be using some of these items in this collection tonight on a card. And I have to tell you, it's a pretty good card if I do say so myself. Oh, I also have an online class with this month. I also have a 12 project tutorial that is free to anyone who orders from me in the month of November. So if you place an order in my online store, you will get my 12 project tutorial, which is different than my online class. It is a tutorial emailed file only, whereas the online class, you can get a packet of supplies to make the cards. My class to go for the month of November uses these pretty pop-up dies, which they are pretty stinking cool. I have to tell you, I didn't really know what they were about. I saw them in the catalog. I hadn't purchased them, and I was looking for what can I do my online class on or my class to go on this month. And I found these and I thought, oh, let's just try that out. And I have had so much fun making the cards in this class. The cards are done. And I will, I'm going to make one of the cards for you guys tonight that's actually in the class. So that's kind of exciting. And so the class is the Pretty Pop-Ups dies and the Go-To Greetings. So that's kind of like my bundle, but it's a die set and a stamp set. And then in your kit, you get a roll of the white crinkled seam binding ribbon, a package of the iridescent pearls, and a Wink of Stella. So, yay. And then you have the option to add on a take your pick tool and various Stampin' Blends. I'm using a bunch of Stampin' Blends in this class. I didn't want to make them mandatory part of the class because a lot of you probably have some of them. Some you have, some you might not. So you can go through and choose any that you don't have if you want to add them to your class. And then, of course, the Fitting Florets class will be ready at the end of the month, and it includes the whole shebang. If you buy the whole shebang, you get the cardstock kit for free, and that includes the entire collection, plus the 2 ribbons, the polished pink and the evening evergreen. If you just want the cardstock supply kit, then you get a package of the gold swirls and a half a roll of each of the ribbons. So there you go. And then the online only, for those of you that maybe, don't need class kits, you can make the cards yourselves. I do have an online only version for $20. All right. I still have, I think, 2 of my Decorated with Happiness class kits left. These are not discounted. This is my last month's class, so I don't really consider it a past class yet. So I have 2 of those left. And then the Sweet Candy Canes is also not included. I think I have 4 of these left. So they're going pretty quickly. Stamp Happy Academy, for those of you guys that are premium or live only members, I will be live on Stamp Happy Academy tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific, 2 Mountain, 3 Central, 4 Eastern, with some fantastic layouts and a fabulous color combination for you guys. So if you're interested in Stamp Happy Academy, you can go to stamphappyacademy.ning.com, check out all the information there, and see if it's for you. We have a ton of subscribers. We have a ton of girls that love it. Bonnie's on here saying that it's awesome. She's not wrong. It's a gift you give to yourself, basically. Adhesive kits. I always have adhesive kits for sale. They come in these cute pouches. A variety of adhesives are in the kit. Cheryl is also on Stamp Happy Academy telling you that it's amazing. Polly Libby also is saying she loves it. So you guys, it's amazing. If you're not a member, you should be, because it's awesome. Okay, and then I also always have all occasion cards for sale. You get 20 cards for $25 plus shipping. We have a link in the description. And Tisha is also telling you guys that Stamp Happy Academy is amazing. So there you go. Let me get my glasses on here. I always forget to put them on. And of course, I can't see without them. So you'd think that I would be a little bit more in tuned with getting my glasses on so I can see what's going on. Okay, so my first card is going to be a kind of a fun fold. This is one of those cards that whenever we come out with these fantastic designs in Designer Series paper that are awesome, like they coordinate together the two sides. Like if you fold it over and they go together, I love that. Some papers you fold it over and they don't go together. But if they do, then the drapery fold, like this, to me, this is not what I would consider papers that go together. So this is not a pattern that I would use for this technique thing that I'm going to share with you. It's called the drapery fold, and it works best when both sides of your paper go together, that they coordinate together. This one, yes, I would say that does coordinate together. This one, I believe, does also. Yep, sure enough. Also, in case you guys didn't know, on this particular pattern in this paper, some of these things you can die cut with one of the dies in the set. So you've got a few different options here, maybe different color combinations here. So that's pretty fun. And then I think there's one more in here. Yes, I believe it's this one. And so those do go together also. So for this technique, the drapery fold technique, you definitely want papers that the front and the back coordinate and go together really well. So we are going to be using our Stampin' Trimmer, and we're going to be using the Framed Florets stamp set and the dies, the Framed Florets dies, and these are a bundle. You can purchase them now. They will also be a carryover thing that goes into the next catalog, the Occasions catalog that starts in January. And then we also have these fun gold adhesive back swirls that are part of that collection also. And let's see. Oh no, we got a troll, you guys. Geez, why do people always got to do this? This message is held for review. Oh, I'm the only one that can see it. Yay. Bye, troll. Okay. Cindy says, I love your fabulous designs. Barb, I try not to miss any of your lives, but if I do, I always watch the replay. Oh my gosh. Cindy, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. And Tisha said she's been thinking of upgrading to premium. Tisha, do it. You don't have anything to lose. If you upgrade to premium and it's not for you, you can always go back to the basic. So, or if you have live only, then you get the basic. Anyways, you can always go back to what you had before if you don't like it. So yeah, just check with us. If you do decide to upgrade, send to us an email and we can help you figure that out. Okay, so we're doing the drapery fold. Got to get my paper out here. So I have a paper, excuse me, a piece of this pattern, and this measures 7 1/4 by 3. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of scoring on this. First of all, we're going to score it at 3 inches. So I'm going to put my paper in at the 3-inch mark. Make sure my cutting blade is out of the way, and I'm going to score that. Then I'm going to go over here to 3 1/2. And then I'm going to go to 5. And then I'm going to go to 6. Okay, there we go. So, and I don't know, you guys probably aren't going to be able to see the score lines. I can see them, but you guys might not be able to, but they're there. So what I like to do is the first score line I made at that 3 inches is I fold back onto it. And so that kind of really accentuates that fold line. So that fold line, that first one, that 3-inch, is going to go into my track on my trimmer. So I have my 3-inch section right here. And I have that in the track of the trimmer. And then the point up here is going to be at about 2 inches. If it's a little more, if it's a little less, not a big deal, about 2 inches. So I'm going to come back here again, make sure my fold line is in the track. My point is about at 2 inches. And then I am going to cut off this little sliver right here. Now, I don't know what a person could do with this, so I'm not going to save it. I'm going to toss it. Okay. So we have already folded back on the 3-inch. Now the 3 1/2 inch, we're going to fold the opposite direction. Then we're going to come to the 5 and fold it towards us. And then the 6, fold it out. Okay. So this is what I have here, this fun little fold, which is awesome. What am I looking at here? Something looks weird. 3, 3.5, 5. That's right. I was thinking I did it wrong. No, I did it right. 3, 3.5, 5, 6. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to kind of glue these pleats together. And so I'm going to glue them together, but I'm not going to glue all the way down because I do kind of want them to be like this. Oh, Vicky's so sweet. She said, congratulations on my achievements. Yes, I did post. Stampin' Up! Posted their, like, the top demonstrators in all the categories. And there was about 30, I think there's like 36,000 demonstrators in the United States. And out of 36,000 demonstrators, I was number 56. Which I haven't been in the top 100 for a really long time. So I was pretty excited to be back. So that was a very big shock to me to be number 56. And I have, you know, all of you guys to thank that purchase my class kits, that order Stampin' Up! From me, my family members that support me in my job, my friends that support me in this job, my team members that support me in this job. All of that is a big thanks to all of you also. So thank you guys. And thank you for saying that, Vicki. I appreciate that very much. Okay, so I'm going to add adhesive. So I'm going to kind of fold these back over one at a time. So this pleat here, I'm going to add some seal, not down the whole thing, as you can see. So then I'm going to stick that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, add a little bit there and stick that down. And then I'm going to add a little bit there to stick that down. Then I'm going to bring it over, and I still have one little spot here that I need to stick down. And there we go. Okay, so now everything is stuck down except at the bottom. I kind of wanted it to still be able to look a little flowy down there, if that's a word. I mean, it is, but whatever. Okay, so now I have a 4¼ by 11-inch piece of balmy blue, and I'm going to just give this a score here because when you cut your paper the hot dog way, then when you try to fold it, if you don't score it first, it's like you're folding against the grain. And sometimes it just doesn't like that, and it won't. It'll give you some fits and give you a weird crease up here. So now we're going to add our pleated layer to the front here. So I'm just going to kind of look at it. I'm going to use liquid glue so that I can kind of wiggle it around if I have to, like if it doesn't go in the exact spot that I want it to begin with. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue all over here. All right, and we'll add that. So we're having this side and the bottom be flush, and then this side over here is also flush. So hello, everyone who's coming in. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so we have our drapery fold. We have a little bit of play right there, which is always fun. And then the next thing I did was I took the Shaped Contours dies, and we have this fun scallop border. And so I cut myself a little scallopy border, but I'm going to trim this down to 1/2 inch. What I really wanted was some Night of Navy ribbon, but we don't have any. So that's fine. I'll just make my own thing that's Night of Navy, and it's going to be this little guy right here. So I am going to add some glue right across the top of my designer series paper. And then I'm going to add this. It's a little bit longer than the piece, as you can see, but I wanted to decide where I wanted the scallops. So there we go. Ooh, Sherry says she hopes to meet us in Indianapolis. Yay, Sherry, be sure to come up if you see us and say hello. We would be happy to meet all of you guys. It's so fun. I mean, we see your names all the time, you know, commenting on our videos, and you guys know what we look like. So you feel like you know us, and you do know us, but we don't know you because we've never seen you. So I'm excited. Okay, so I have that's my little border piece. Then I've got a 4 by 5¼ inch layer for the inside, and I have some die cut pieces here. So I have an oval out of white and an oval out of navy. And now these come out of this particular die right here. So it's the center of this die. I'm not using the frame that goes around it in this particular card. So I've got the white and I've got the navy. And so for the navy, I'm going to snip this in half. Okay. It's not perfect at all, and that's totally fine. I don't care. So I'm going to separate it. As you can see, I'm separating it. So there's about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16 between these two layers. And I'm going to tape them together. Okay. So that's what we have so far, that and this. Now this I'm going to decorate. So I'm going to get my stamps. And I have this font in this set I absolutely love. And so I've got a birthday sentiment here. I always need some kind of fancy birthday cards at this time of year. Both of my sister-in-laws have birthdays in December. One is like the 19th and one is like the 27th. So I always try to make something a little special. So, because, you know, sometimes I feel like people that have birthdays around Christmas, they don't always get, you know, the full birthday celebration experience because they have a birthday near Christmas. So, all right. I am going to also ink up this very small little flower. And I'm going to stamp that right down here underneath the word birthday. Okay, like that. And, oh, I also have an inside piece. Oh no, I have ink on my hand. Hold please while I get my chamois out here. And how did that even happen? Good grief. Did I like stick my thumb in there? I believe I must have. Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure I don't have any more ink on my hands. Otherwise, we're gonna have an inky card. Okay, so this is our inside layer. 4 by 5 1/4. We also have another little sentiment that's in the stamp set, and I don't remember what it says, but we're going to find out pretty darn quickly here. Ooh, for a special person on a special date. I feel like I didn't get that all inked up. I don't know. Maybe I did, but I feel like I got extra ink here again. Boy, I am sloppy with this Night of Navy ink. I don't really know why that is, but it's a problem. There we go. Okay. You guys are talking about people's birthdays around Christmas. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like as parents, you try to make it a little more special, but sometimes, you know, with all the hoopla of Christmas, it's just kind of difficult. So I do try to make them extra special cards for their birthdays just because I want them to know that I appreciate them because they're amazing. Okay. I also have, I die cut these two pieces out of polished pink. Whoops. And then I die cut this little leaf guy right here. And so I'm just going to add some glue to this little leaf. And I'm going to get some of the glue off because I have a little bit too much. I got a little carried away. And I'm just going to add that leaf right here to the bottom of the card so that we have some fun on the inside and the fun on the outside. All right, so let's go ahead and get this added to the inside of the card. Open that up. And we'll add this. And for those of you that might be new, when I add inside layers to cards, I only care about the 3 outside edges. I don't care about the fold line, if it lines up or not. I just try to make sure that these 3 sides are even, because when you open up the card, you're not going to know whether this is the equal distance because there's all that other, that same color is up there. Does that even make sense? I mean, it makes sense in my brain, but sometimes when I say things, they don't make sense. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So we are now going to take this and we are going to add it to this layer of navy. So we're going to give ourselves a little border at the top and the bottom of this. So I'm going to be just kind of careful where when I stick it on there so that the top and the bottom area is about the same. Okay. And then obviously right here, you don't have any extra navy sticking out, but we're going to put it around this border piece. So you're not going to really be able to tell, but you'll be able to tell at the top and the bottom. So I also wanted to add these little foliage pieces. So I'm just going to kind of lay that one there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to use tape. I'm going to cheat. And I'm just going to add a piece of tape to hold that in place. Now this little guy, I am going to have it come down from this angle here, but I don't need all of that. So I'm going to snip it off about right there. Whoa, that I was not expecting. All right, hold on. I need to cut that off too. There. All right. And then we'll have this little guy coming down from the side over on this side. And again, I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to use some tape. Okay. So then we have that. So fantastic. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals here to adhere this to the card. And I know I should probably try to sell adhesive on the back here instead of using tape, but you know what? We all have tape and we have to use adhesive for everything else that we do. I just find tape to be so simple for a lot of things and it just saves me time. And so I'm just going to do that. All right. So now you can leave it like this if you want. That's totally fine. But I was purposely waiting for this to dry a little bit before I added some color. So I'm going to go ahead and add some color with my, what is this? Light polished pink. But I'm going to be careful in that I'm going to try to keep my color away from the navy if I can. So I'm trying to add the color without having my blend touch the navy ink. Because sometimes it smears, I've noticed. Not always. And I don't know why sometimes it does and why sometimes it doesn't. I kind of wonder sometimes if it's not all the way dry, then that might be the problem. And this is not Memento, so this ink isn't like designed. It is a water-based ink, so it should be fine. But I don't believe it's necessarily designed to work with blends, but we're just going to make it work with the blends. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to bring in our little gold swirls, because why not? They're so cute and they're flat, you guys. They're like super flat. So when you try to mail them, they mail really nicely. And you shouldn't have to add any extra postage or anything like that. Now I say shouldn't. Everybody's post office is different. Every time you mail something, whether it's a package or a letter or what have you, it literally depends who touches it, whether or not it's going to require extra postage. I swear that's true. Now, if we have any postal people on here, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not had, I've been correct about this. Because like you could take it to your own post office and they'll say, oh no, it's totally fine. But it might get to the post office of your destination and that particular postal worker might say, oh, there's a bump there. That's extra money. And then they might make it postage due to your friend. I don't know why they do that, why it's not consistent across the board, but it's not. So there you go. Not dogging on the post office by any means, just something that I have noticed myself. Okay, the card is done. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic. It's got a fun little technique on the bottom. And I literally do this technique every single time we have fantastic paper. So there you go. There is card number 1. So let me do a little bit of cleanup here. And then we shall get to our next card, which is going to use the Pretty Pop-Ups dies. Okay, I think we're good. I think I'm going to get all this off the table. And then I think we're good. Okay. So, the Pretty Pop-Ups class is my class for the month of November. And I am going to be using, oh, I didn't even bring the dies over here. That was really dumb. I'm going to be using the Go-To Greetings and then the Pretty Pop-Ups dies. I think I have a few little samples of what the dies will do. So one of them is a little rectangle. One of them is a little oval. Do I have the big circle? Oh yeah. And then one of them is a big circle. And then there are a few little individual pieces, like there's a couple of little butterflies, there's this dragonfly, and then there's a few little flowers that are in these dies. And so what they do is they die cut all, excuse me, whatever you see here. And they're meant to be kind of like the pieces are meant to be popped up. So you can go ahead and pop up whatever pieces you want. And yes, I understand that when you mail them, they might get a little bit flat. But I feel like once they've been popped up, then they might want to stay popped up again. So anyways, that's the whole design behind the pop-up dies, is this is what they're supposed to do. And you can color them, you can not color them, whatever you want to do. So the class kit, if you want it, is $48, and it includes a pre-cut cardstock kit to make 8 cards with envelopes. So here, this is one of the cards that's in the kit, that's in the class. You also get a full package of the iridescent pearls. You get a brand new Wink of Stella, and you get a roll of the white crinkled seam binding ribbon. Okay, so you get that plus the cardstock kit and the shipping and the envelopes for the $48. Why does this always happen? I've not even been talking very long. Okay, just had some water. We're good. All right, so for this particular card, we are using a Poppy Parade card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm just going to fold this in half, a standard card base. I have a 4 by 5.25 inch layer for the inside. And of course you would have the die set. So you would die cut to those little, like I said, you have the 3 big dies, then you have some smaller dies. So I put all 3 dies on there together and ran it through. So that's going to be my inside layer. My outside layer measures, this is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and it's going to layer onto a piece that is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to punch the top corners of both of these layers with this trio punch, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called off the top of my head, but we'll figure that out. So I'm going to have the punch right here. I'm going to line up the edges with the guide. I'm going to slide that out. I'm going to slide this layer in. I'm going to punch it and slide it out. So then these two are going to layer together, and they're going to be just slightly smaller than each other. And then this will happen. And then I will do this for you. So your kit will come with these pieces punched out. Okay. So you don't have to do that. Oh my gosh, Patty, thank you so much. Patty just gave me a little tip, and it looks like she's got a little PlayStation game or something there. Patty, that's really cute. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is I also have die cut some of the smaller pieces. So I have out of Calypso Coral, I have a large butterfly, a dragonfly, and a small butterfly out of Poppy Parade. And then I have another large butterfly out of Poppy. And this is all you have to do to trim these out, you guys. It's literally just go underneath the 2 back sides, the 2 wings basically, and then just snip that off. And then there is your little butterfly. Okay, so that is going to be layered onto this. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little glue right down here in the middle. I don't want to put it everywhere because I want it to be able to be a little bit free floating. And as you can tell, this isn't the perfect match for this butterfly, but it's super cute. If you wanted the perfect match, you could just run this die through the Poppy Parade paper and then get yourself this exact butterfly. But I thought it was kind of cute not being exact and having a little bit of difference there. Okay, so then we are also going to take our little dragonfly and we're going to add it to the card here. We're going to add one of the butterflies down here, and we're going to add a butterfly up here. But before we do that, I want to color these with Wink of Stella. So I need a scratch paper, and I'm going to bring all of these in. And then I've got a Wink, very best trio punch. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Cheryl always comes in clutch knowing what this stuff is called, because I can never remember. There's just too many things, and a person just can't remember everything. Okay, so we've got the wink, and we are just going to color these pieces with the wink. Get my hand out of there. Okay, And then the dragonfly. And we'll get that. And then I'm going to get this butterfly also. I'm trying to get some of the wink off of that. I did a thing today where I got a bit of alcohol and threw it inside here because it was getting a little dry. And I don't know if that's really a good idea because now it's flowing out very well. Okay, so we have all of those done. So I'm going to set those aside to dry. This one's good. All right. Oh, Polly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then we're going to do a little coloring. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this. I'm going to use blends, and that's not what I meant by a few different ways. Some people prefer to just take the blend and use the brush tip and just very carefully add some color without going outside of the line. When I say outside the line, what I mean is when you pop up this leaf, going outside the line would be getting this space behind that leaf, okay? So that is one way. You can just try to be very careful. And if you're careful, it does work pretty well. But if you don't want to do it like this and you want to be a little bit extra, well, the word is anal, that's me. Or you can say that you pay particular attention to detail. What you can do is after I get done with these green leaves, I'm going to show you another way to do this. That's a little bit easier, I guess. It's a little more time consuming, but it is a little easier and it will almost guarantee that you will not get ink on the outside spot. Okay, so what you would do is you would get a little scrap of cardstock. Like here's just a little piece, a little scrap here that I have. And what you would do is you would pop these pieces up. So I'm going to pop up these wings. And then I'm going to bring in my coral marker and I can kind of lay that wing down onto this little scrap of paper. And I can color it that way. And that way I don't get any ink anywhere that I don't want it. The only downfall of this method, is it does take a little bit longer. So if you've got nothing but time, which sometimes we don't, sometimes we just have some time and we just want to spend it doing this. So if you have extra time and you want to do that, then you absolutely can. I find that it's okay. I've had pretty good luck doing it this way. Oh, this is one of my markers that is dead. Hold on, I have another one. At least that end of it is dead. But I have a spare. Hopefully this one's not dead. We'll see. But I find that it's not too difficult to do it like this. If you use the brush end and you just like barely touch the paper, you can get it to work. And now I'm not doing the entire flower, these little ones here, because I'm going to put my gems in the middle. So I don't need ink covering the whole thing. Okay. So I think we're getting close to done with this. And then we're going to bring in the Poppy Parade and we're going to do the big leaves or the big petals, excuse me, on the bigger flowers. So that worked out pretty good. All right, so here's my light poppy. Whoops. Again, you do want the brush tip end as it's got a super fine point. Now, I guess if your marker has gotten goobered up, I don't usually ever use this tip, this end of my marker. So mine are pretty good. Some people use this tip all the time. And so some people's tips aren't so nice. It just depends. So if you don't have a nice tip, you could go use that other method that I just shared with you of popping up the, well, actually, let's just do a couple more of them. Where's my Take Your Pick tool? Here it is. So the Take Your Pick tool is a very handy tool for these particular dies because you can just poke from the back and just get all those little things pushed up to the front. See how simple that is? And they just pop right up, no problem. And I was actually very impressed with how this die cuts these pieces out. It does a really good job of getting them cut out. Okay, so you can see how much fun that is. So we can go ahead and bring our little scrap piece in here if we want. And we can color these. You can actually be a little more aggressive doing it this way. And so you can like really get the whole petal clean, or I mean colored. So that's one nice thing about doing it that way. Like I said, the kind of downfall or drawback is that it does take a little bit longer because you're constantly, repositioning your little scrap piece to keep it underneath these pieces. But it does definitely allow you to be a little more aggressive. So take that for what you will. If you want to be an aggressive colorer, then we got you. Okay. And there we go. They're all done. So that's amazing. Then we are going to layer these two pieces together. And I'm just going to glue them. I'm not going to pop them up with dimensionals or anything like that. I'm just going to glue them together. So I'm going to use my liquid glue if I can find it, because here we go. I don't want to smash my pieces just yet. So we'll do that. And we'll get just a little bit of glue here and there. And this way, this also gives me a little bit of wiggle room to get these pieces lined up nicely. Okay. Then our other little pieces that we were messing around with should be dry. And we'll just add a little bit of glue to that. Look how shiny that is. That's awesome. And I have my little dragonfly here. And I'm just going to add that up in the corner. And then I have a little butterfly that I think I lost now because I was pushing stuff out of the way. Oh my gosh, come on. How is it that that happens? Well, I don't know what to do here. Hopefully it'll show up. Maybe it'll show up. Well, while I'm letting that happen, I am going to, I'm going to do my little flowers on the inside. And these, I am going to come a little more to the center, I think, because I'm not going to put my jewels on the inside here. I'm just going to put the color. I'm also finding that if you want to leave it, you don't want to do the pop-up method and put the paper underneath. If you start at the tip of the petal and you come towards the center, that seems to work pretty well. Okay, I hope you guys are liking this. I know this is a little bit more putsy than my usual cards. Usually I don't have this putsy of a card, but it is one of the cards in the class, and I thought you might enjoy seeing it. And I also thought you might enjoy seeing the whole process, because a lot of times, I'll say, oh, and this is what you do, and then I'll quickly say, and I already have it done. But this one, I just wanted to kind of show you guys the whole thing, the whole process. So, oh, Polly was asking what this die set was. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl is the queen of the catalog. That is your job, Cheryl. You're to be the queen of the catalog. And she's amazing at it. All right, so this is going to go on the inside of the card. There we go. Margaret's joining us. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that very much. And Tony's here. Hello, Tony. And I can't find my other butterfly, you guys. So I am going to... is it on the floor? 'Cause sometimes things fall on the floor when you're not looking. I don't see it. Good grief. Is it stuck on my paper? No. I found it. My gosh, it got dumped into this little tray that I have next to my desk. Okay, all is right with the world now. I found my butterfly. Okay, it's going to go right here. Yay. Okay, so then here's a funny story. I thought I had more ribbon than I had, so I was doing a little sample for myself of, how I wanted to put the ribbon on this card. And so I tied it thinking, you know, oh, I would just tie it again for the video, and I don't have enough, so I'm not going to be doing that. But what I did was I took my pixie spray and I just tied 2 pieces of the ribbon. They were about 12 inches each. I tied them around this pixie spray, and so now I have a double ribbon here that I can work with. So what I'm going to do is I want the knot to be about right here on the card. And so then I am going to snip off the excess. Of course, we're going to bring in our best friend, the Scotch tape. And I'm going to kind of spread these apart just slightly when I wrap them to the back. And I'm going to tape them down. All right, so then we have these 2 that are going to come to the other end, and same thing, we're going to spread them apart just slightly so that they are a little open. Try to make sure that they're evenly spaced, and then we're going to shoot those to the back also. Okay, and so then we have all of these tails here on the front. Oh, I've got my ribbon scissors here. We used to sell these. We don't anymore. I'm sorry that I'm using them, but they're just amazing scissors, and I still have them because I still love them. So there you go. All right, and we're just going to do that. So that's our front layer. We do have to stamp our sentiment, which is going to be done in the old Poppy Parade. And it says, excuse me, just a note. So I'm going to flip that so that it's not upside down. Good grief, how would that be? That would be terrible. And we're going to stamp it about right there. And then I have a thinking of you also from the same stamp set. Now what's cool about this stamp set is it's got your standard sentiments that you use frequently, but they're in different fonts, which is awesome. So we have this font here, which is one of these 4 right here. Here's my just a note. And then we have this fabulous, fancy, beautiful, cursive, scrolly writing. But yeah, the sentiments are awesome. They're sentiments that you would absolutely use all the time, but there's just a lot of different fonts. And so I just really, really like that. So that's why I added it to the class. It's not a mandatory purchase for the class. You can add it if you want. If you don't want to, you probably have lots of sentiments at home that you can use in place of these here, but it is a really nice set, and if you don't have it, I really think you'd like it if you don't. Okay, so we have that. Now finally what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our gems. And what did I do with the gems? Boy, I tell you what, you guys, it's, oh, here we go. And we are going to not be skimpy with our gems at all, because you get the whole package. So you can totally go hog wild and just add these gems literally everywhere. And they're not very thick. They're not very fat. So shouldn't have too much trouble mailing them. And so, yeah. So we'll add a large one and a small one to that. I'm going to add large ones to my big flowers here. And then the shine from these beautiful gems is awesome. It just makes me happy. Put a little one there and a little one there. And then if we want, we can add them also to our additional little things that we added to the card. And there we go. So there it is. That is card number 1. Now you also get an envelope. And so for the envelope, I found this cute little butterfly out of the Daffodil Daydream set, and it's adorable. And I'm just going to use that on the outside of the envelope here. I'm just going to stamp a couple right. Actually, we could just even go all the way up the side if we wanted to, and then of course you could add your return address, whatever. So you can do whatever you want with them. But there it is. That would be card number 1 from my Pretty Pop-Ups class. So I hope you guys like that. Like I said, it's a little bit putsy, but man, is it fun. And I just really have been loving these things since I've been playing with them. I've had a lot of fun with them. So I hope you'll join me in the class. All right, let's get this stuff put away. And I have one more card for you. Some of you are probably going to recognize it. Some of you won't. So we'll just see if you guys recognize it or not. All right, we've got everything pushed out of the way. We'll slide that over. And then here comes the stuff for our final card. Okay. So I've got a thick white card base. Oh, if you guys wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I think there's a little subscription thing right here. It might not be while I'm live, but it would be after during the replay. So you could click on that and you could subscribe to my channel. And then YouTube would let you know when I upload videos or when I'm going to go live. So, all right. So we've got a thick white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, a 4 by 5.25 inch layer of white cardstock, and then a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of this snowflake vellum that comes out of, what's this stuff called? Snowflake Specialty Vellum. I don't have a whole lot of this stuff left, but I'll whip it out and share it with you. So we have an iridescent pattern, and then we have a snowflake that is flocked, and then we have snowflakes that are iridescent, and then we have more snowflakes that are flocked and more snowflakes that are iridescent. So there are 3 different kinds. And anyway, oh, Connie's so sweet. Connie says, give me a thumbs up because I rock with my card classes. You're so sweet, Connie. We're going to be using the Celebrate with Tags bundle. So we've got the Celebrate with Tags or Celebrations Tags dies and the Celebrate with Tags stamp set. This is literally my most favorite Merry Christmas sentiment of the season. And I love it. I just love it so much. It's just the perfect font. It's the perfect size. And I've just been using the heck out of this stamp because I love it so much. So we're going to use it today. I need a scrap of white. That's not big enough. Hello, come on. Lord knows we have enough scraps down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my snowflake vellum to this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the back of this card, or the back of this vellum, and I'm going to add little dots of glue where I see these a little bit larger snow dots, because that way, when I add this card to my layer of white, hopefully, the glue won't show because it's behind the flocking. And so when I put it on the card, it'll stick, but it won't be obvious that there's a bunch of glue behind here. So I'm just kind of randomly dotting. I'm not getting every single one. I'm trying to get a good selection of them, some in the middle, some on the outer edges, just so it will stick to my card, my other cardstock layer here. And that's the reason I got a cardstock layer, so that they're the same size. So it'd be easier for me to line these up when I'm adding them together, rather than if I try to put it on the card base, I'd be smearing the glue and then it might show. So we're just going to hope that this little method here that I've come up with will work. It should, because typically there's just nothing that I have found that disguises vellum that you can't see. And so the best thing you have to do is hide it. That's what I found. Okay. There we go. Easy enough. So that's just going to layer here. We're going to use some dimensionals. Not quite yet, but we will. Then we're going to do our sentiment. And like I said, this is my most favorite sentiment that says Merry Christmas. It's just perfect. We're going to use our embossing essentials. I don't even know what this thing is called. It's a little embossing kit that's in the holiday catalog. And it includes this tray, this funneled tray with a little lid. So if you don't want it to funnel out, you can screw the lid on. You get a brush. You get a stone pair of tweezers. This is some kind of stone here, so it won't melt while you're heating your heat tool. And then you get an embossing buddy. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy and I am going to push it all over this piece of white because I don't want stray pieces of embossing. I am kind of particular when I do embossing. I don't like strays to be on my projects. I feel like it looks messy and sloppy and I don't like it. So I try to be really careful using my embossing buddy and hoping, fingers crossed, that it does its job and keeps all the bits where they're supposed to be, which is back in the container. Okay, so then I sprinkle on the embossing powder And then I kind of like to tap, tap, tap so that the powder kind of fills in all the spaces. And then I give it a good flick, and then we look at it. And if we do have some strays, that's why we have this brush, and we can kind of get those off. And then if you see, maybe you can't see this, I can because it's close to me, but there are a couple of little bits right here by this M. And so if I kind of loosen them from the paper, then I can blow them off. Okay. So let me get my heat tool. I'm going to move this powder away and this powder away so that as I'm heating up my tool, I am not going to be blowing powder everywhere. So I'm going to kind of heat it up a little bit, get it a little bit warm. And then you can do it from the front or you can do it from the back, whatever floats your boat. So if you do it from the back, just kind of keep your eye on it. Oh, you know what? I'm used to doing this without the tweezers because we hadn't had tweezers for so long that I kind of got used to burning myself all the time. And look how beautiful that embossing is. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely fantastic. I am a fan of our embossing powders, and then this whole setup. So look at that. There might be a tiny, actually I don't even know if that's one. There's no bits on here. So I am really happy with that. So then what I would do is I would take it over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this die set has this cute little stitched rectangle. I would place it on there, get it so it's centered, run it through, and then here I would have this little label. Okay. So I'll use that other one in something else. Now, I also die cut myself a bunch of snowflakes, a few different colors here. And this is where you guys might recognize this. Stampin' Up! Sent out an email to demonstrators here earlier this week. And this is kind of very loosely, or very much based on the card that was shown in one of the cards that was shown in there. And I just loved it. So what you do is I'm going to add this to my layer here. I'm going to do it with some dimensionals. Whoops, I did not mean to throw that off camera. And so I'm going to center it from side to side, but I'm going to have it a little bit towards the bottom. So it's about an inch from the bottom and then centered from side to side. And then I'm just going to add these snowflakes around my sentiment. And as you can see, I've already got a gem in the middle here. And the gem is one of our iridescent rhinestones. And so I am just going to pick that off of the glue dot thing here. And I'm just going to add this kind of right down here in the corner. Okay. Now these I haven't put the gems on yet. I'm going to, but I just wanted to see how the gem looked on there, and it looked amazing. And I have a glue dot stuck on my thumb. So we're going to try to pick that up. And we're going to try to add our Bermuda Bay snowflake. And I know these are very non-traditional colors, but we started with the Sweet Sorbet, and then we added a Bermuda Bay. I'm off camera. What does that mean, Sherry? I can see myself in my camera and on my iPad, so I think I'm good. And then I'm going to add one, I think, up here. And then I have a polished pink. Phew. Oh, she said, never mind. Okay, because I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Where do I want the pink? Over here, maybe? And then we have a coastal cabana. Oh, she was zoomed in. Okay, no problem. And then we're going to add our coastal cabana one up here. So we're just kind of framing our sentiment. And then I'm going to bring in the gems. And now I'm out of the frame. And we're going to add a gem to the center of each one of these. Oops, come back here, you. And so, yeah, this card was in our weekly email, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. I kind of did a little bit of creative liberty with the colors. They used some different colors, some of the same, some different, but I changed mine up a little bit so that it suited me, so that I liked it. So now I'm going to add these dimensionals to the back. And then we will add it to the front of the card. And let's see, do we have... I could probably find some other sentiments here to stick in the middle, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do this. Okay, there it is. So this is my take on that card. I hope you guys like it. I thought the card was amazing. Whoever designed it, kudos to them for doing a fantastic job. I went ahead and changed. They had an embossed layer. I think it was like embossed with the brick folder. I wanted to go ahead and use this vellum paper because I haven't used it yet. And then they had a couple of different colors. They used shaded spruce and petal pink. Didn't use Bermuda Bay. I didn't like those colors together for some reason. I liked these better. So I just changed it up to do what I wanted to do with it. So the snowflake die is also in that same die set. So I did get the label and the snowflake out of the same die set. Okay. So that's it for tonight, you guys. Just a reminder, I will not be here next week because I will be traveling on that day. On Thursday, I will be traveling. But I look forward to seeing a bunch of you guys in Indianapolis. If you're going to Indianapolis for On Stage, I look forward to seeing you there. And here are the cards we made tonight. We have our fitting florets. Beautiful, beautiful card. We have the card that is one of the cards in my class to go for the month of November. Hope you guys love that. I do. And the other cards are just as fantastic, believe me. And then this card that I copied from Stampin' Up. So there you go. So, all right, you guys, I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you for the congratulations on my achievements for the year. I really appreciate that. And I will see some of you guys next week in person. So excited about that. And then the rest of you, I should be able to be back the week after. So, all right, you guys, have a great night, a fantastic couple of weeks, and I will see some of you soon.